Get right into this because I do have a lot of information to cover, so I'm going to kind of be going fast and furious here. What I want to do real quick, I'll look at this while you guys look at the screen. How's that sound? So change your water, change your life. Could it be that simple? You know, if I was going to say to people, you know, I want to change your diet and all that, that's not that easy to do. But if you say, you know, don't drink this water, drink our water, that's just a pretty simple, easy thing to do. Okay, so I do have some simple requests, okay, and couldn't came off. I should have had that slide first, right? If you can, cell phones off or on vibrate, because in my opinion, over the next, let's say, hour, nothing's going to be more important than what you're going to learn tonight. It's really that important. Refrain from texting because it'll distract everybody, especially me. Refrain from talking. And hold your questions until the end. I'll most likely answer your questions as we go along, and if I don't, make sure I answer them for you at the very end, because we want everybody to walk out of here and be kind of crystal clear on what we're going to talk about. So, why are you here today? Some of you are here because you have a health challenge and you'd like to find some help for that, you know, help maybe overcome that health challenge. Some of you are here because you're concerned about buying bottled water, plastic water bottles. You know, you're concerned about your environment. Some of you are here today because you're looking for a better life. You know, there is an opportunity here, so we're going to touch upon that. That may or may not be for you, but you may know somebody that would like to benefit from this or take advantage of this. You may be sick and tired of being sick and tired. Anybody here sick and tired of being sick and tired? I know I was. That's what attracted me to this. Okay? And no matter why you came here today, my goal is for you to leave here today with something of value that will improve your life. Okay, fair enough? I just like to explain that right up front. And we believe, and when I say we, the company, myself, and the people that are involved in this, that in protecting the environment by reducing the amount of plastic bottles that go into it. And I'm going to show you some pictures that are quite disturbing. That drinking healthy water is the key to health and longevity. That's what you're going to learn tonight. That nothing is bigger as far as a piece of the puzzle for you to be healthier than water. We're not supposed to be sick all the time. We're supposed to be like a candle, burn evenly, flicker a few times at the end, and go out. You see, it's common to hear this one's sick and that one's sick and this one died of an old age at or natural causes at 65. You know, you hear that a lot. That's common but not normal. You're supposed to live to 120 years of age, be in total health, and just go naturally at that point, not younger. You hear people dying in their 70s, that's way too young. That we should not have to worry about money. Most people are stressed out of their mind because they don't have enough spendable cash today. And it's only going to get worse. Things are getting more and more expensive. Taxes are going up. Your health care system. You know, yes, everybody's going to have health insurance, but your deductibles are going to be so high. So we can't afford to even be sick today, and we need more money today, most people. So I think we're all difference makers. And some people are difference makers in what we do, and we certainly want to pass that along. So let's begin. A little bit about our company itself. This is a global movement based on 3 principles. That is the CEO and founder of our company, Mr. Oshiro. In that picture, he is 72 years old. He looks like he's 45 when you meet him in person. But his philosophy is realizing true physical health, realizing true financial health. If you got your health and you got your finances in order, you got a peace of mind. And that's what we're really all looking for, is a peace of mind. The 5 most important things that we all need to do to be healthy, and we all probably know these, but maybe we don't practice them. We need to eat right, and that's consuming more raw fruits and vegetables as part of that equation. We're not going to get into detail on all these. Exercise. What's the best exercise, Mike? The one that you'll do. Okay, now there's some that take it to the extremes. Michael's in great physical shape, but whatever you do, do something, but stay active, because if you don't, you'll lose it. Manage your stress. We all have stress in our life. Could be positive or negative, but you want to manage your stress. Sleep well. You need to get your 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night. Most people find a difficult time doing that. and drink plenty of good, clean water. How much water should we be drinking? Anyone know?
2 glasses a day?
2 glasses a day. Well, they used to say 8-ounce glasses. But the actual answer, the current answer, is half your body weight in pounds and ounces. So if you weigh 200 pounds, 100 ounces of water a day. If you weigh 120 pounds, 60 ounces of water a day. So most people do not drink enough water. So we are human beings, but we're really water beings. Why do I say that? 70 to 75% of your body is made up of water. Just like Mother Earth. Just like Mother Earth. Your brain is more than 80%, your blood is more than 90%. So of those 5 things that I mentioned, eating right, exercising and all that, water is the most important. Water is 70% of the equation. Because if you don't eat, if you don't have enough water, when you're eating right, it's not bringing the nutrients into your cells. It's not taking the toxins out. So, here's the bad news. We live in a world of toxicity. There's no way of getting around this. And this is all stuff you're going to obviously agree with me on because it's all right out there for the general public to see. Our air is polluted, our water is polluted, our fruits and vegetables are sprayed with pesticides and herbicides today, which are very toxic to the body. You have all types of toxic chemicals right in your own home. This is a vortex of all plastic floating out in the Pacific Ocean. Vortex means it's going around and around in a circle. You can Google this. It's now larger than the size of Texas and 3 feet deep. 60 million plastic water bottles are thrown away every day just in the United States alone. The fish are eating these, we're eating the fish. It's not a healthy cycle. So less than 20% of all plastic water bottles get recycled. The recycled companies can't keep up, so they only can recycle about 20%. The other 80% either go into landfills, in barges, out into the ocean, they sink it, eventually it frees up. The currents ends up in the Pacific Ocean, but every major ocean has one, but the largest one is in the Pacific Ocean. So this is just one mountain of plastic in China. And China's big, so we don't know how many of these mountains are out there, but somebody was able to get in. I know the lighting's here, I'll just shut this off for a second, but you can see how small the people are compared to that mountain. So I don't know about you, but that certainly concerns me. There's man-made chemicals. There's now over 100,000 man-made chemicals. Tests find more than 200 of them in umbilical cord blood of newborn babies. Okay? So that's a frightening thing. So babies are already being born toxic, and the accumulation of these toxins, these chemicals, over the years will weaken your immune system. So a lot of you always say, well, why do we get sick? Why are so many people sick? Why is cancer so prevalent today? And diabetes and heart disease, and now they got chronic fatigue and Crohn's, and you can just go on and naming all these illnesses, and we polluted our environment. So we need to really rethink what we're doing. Now there's medication toxicity. 2/3 of all prescription drugs produced in the world are consumed right here in the United States, and the United States represents 4.6% of the population. So this little country consumes almost all the medications in the world. Why? We're so heavily advertised, it's too easy for a doctor to prescribe them, and if you think about it, if we don't want to take care of ourselves, if we don't make these simple changes to reduce the need for drugs, then your doctor has no choice but to prescribe medication to you. We leave them no choice. So we have to take control of our own health. Make sense, Chad?
Absolutely.
So, consuming acidic foods and beverages will drain what is known as your natural alkaline buffers. What are they? Calcium, magnesium, potassium, and sodium. Everything you can think about, from soda to coffee to sports drinks, to all animal protein, okay? Alcohol, any kind of pasteurized juices, and every bottled water I've ever tested is acidic. It's acidic. Now, don't get me wrong, you can't be all alkaline, but you can't be all acidic. What are we looking for? We're looking for balance. We're looking for balance. That's why I love chiropractic, because chiropractic is all about putting the body into balance. And that's what this water is all about. So, do I have a glass of wine once in a while? Absolutely. Do I like a cup of coffee? Absolutely. But I know I need to neutralize that with more alkaline water. So some alarming facts about cancer, because we're all concerned about getting cancer, right? We don't want that to happen. This is what a breast, brain, and lung cancer cell looks like. Many studies show that cancer grows in an acidic environment, but cannot survive in an alkaline environment. So acidic is orange, alkaline is purple. So everyone who's ever died of cancer that they tested was acidic. You know what I call that? A clue. You don't want to be acidic. So, in 1940, the incidence of cancer was 1 in 16 people. So if there were 16 people, we're close, but if there were 16 people here, one of us is getting cancer. Anyone want to guess where it is today? 1 in 3 for women, 1 in 2 for men. They tell us guys, well, you'll get prostate cancer later on in life. Don't worry, you can live with it. We shouldn't have to live with that. Here's the scary thing. The leading cause of death in children ages 14 and younger is cancer. I have 4 daughters. 2 of them are 10 and 12. So that concerns me. Because I know when I'm here and Daddy's not watching, they're going to drink soda or whatever, My wife's a recovering garbologist. She had a lot of garbage her whole life. So I had to clean her up, but still, I know they go off the bandwagon when I'm not around. So that concerns me. So in a world of toxicity, it takes a special water to bring us back into balance. What is that special water? Is it bottled water? Is it tap water? Is it filtered water? Is it Brita water? We're going to find out. So this is Kangen. Kangen means return to origin. Return the water to the way it comes out of the high mountains, out of the glaciers. It's owned by a company called Enagic. They purchased the technology from the Sony Corporation in 1974. So you never heard of Enagic, but you heard of Sony. Sony wanted to focus on TVs. They didn't want to focus on this. One of their top producers bought the company. So we have a limited product line. We have one nutritional product. We're not going to cover that tonight, even though it's a phenomenal product made up of turmeric. But we're going to cover the machines tonight, and if anybody's interested in learning more about that later, we'll get into the turmeric. So a little bit about our company. It's the gold standard Enagic, certified medical device in Japan. We're used in 300 plus hospitals in Japan and 32,000 restaurants. 1 in 300 homes in Japan owns a Kangen ionizer, 1 out of every 300, and in the United States, it's 1 out of every 18,000. We're not even keeping up with new homes that are being built every year. So, if you get sick in this country and you go to the hospital, what's the first thing they normally stick into your arm? IV, right? Because most people are clinically dehydrated. How many? Well, according to this article, okay, first for women, this was July of 2013, the water cure. New study, 90% of American women, and it's men as well, are clinically dehydrated no matter how much water they drink. Why? Most water is just way too acidic to be fully absorbed by the body. So, you get sick in a hospital in Japan, they go, here, have some Kangen water, before they hook up an IV to you. So you could get hydrated if you drink this water, which you'll soon find out. So we have offices all over the world, just so you know how big this company is, even though you never heard of it. We're a member of the Direct Selling Association, and we're the only ionizer company in the world to make this list, and we are an accredited member of the Better Business Bureau with an A rating. So I wanted you to know a little bit about the company and how reputable this company is, and how long they've been around. Now, the United Nations worldwide life expectancy of the top 40 countries in the world. Who's living longer? Who's living healthier? Who's number 1? Japan. They're number 1 because they do take better care of themselves, they do eat better, and they do exercise and practice stress management, but they either own a machine or they have easy access to this water from a friend, a relative, a hospital, or a restaurant. On the back of the buses in Japan, you'll see Kangen water. They own their own baseball team over there. It's not the New York Yankees, but they do own their own baseball team there, okay? Now, they're number one in health and longevity, even though they have the highest percentage of cigarette smokers in the world, they have the lowest percentage of lung cancer. I'm not promoting cigarette smoking, but telling you right now, you need to put a lot of antioxidants in your body if you're gonna smoke cigarettes and still live. US is number 40 on this chart, but I heard recently we dropped down to like 51 or 52. As soon as I know for sure, I'll make sure I put it on my list. But we're off the charts now. Best hospitals, best doctors, best nurses, best equipment, best pharmaceutical drugs, and we're off the chart now. So a lot of people want to run to their doctors right away and ask them about all this. And it's unfortunate that most doctors really have never been educated on this. And it's what your goal is to bring them in so they can learn a little bit more about this. Cuba, third world country, is number 37. So let's move into the three things that cause chronic degenerative disease. If you have oxidative stress, you may know it as free radicals. If you have it in your skin, it's called a wrinkle. If you have it in your lungs, it could be COPD, emphysema, asthma. If you have it in your blood, it could be heart disease. We want to reduce the amount of free radicals. A good analogy for you to relate to that is if you had a fireplace, you sat in front of the fireplace, and you had the fire roaring, and you had no screen in front, sparks would fly off, and if it hit your rug, it would burn a hole in your rug. That's a free radical. That's what goes on inside your body. So what do you do to protect it? You put a screen in front of it to catch those sparks. That's an antioxidant. That's similar to what we're talking about. Acidic stress, too much acidity in the body from your foods and beverages and lifestyle and stress, and dehydration stress. How do you get hydrated? So the Kangen water addresses all three of these. We're the most powerful antioxidant in the world. When you think of antioxidants, what do you normally think of? Fruits and vegetables. You don't think of water. Alkaline helps the body become more alkaline, and it's super hydrating to the body. And without number three, the other two wouldn't even matter, because it's got to be the vehicle to get it to where it needs to go. So, how does our Kangen machine work? It goes through a filter, the water. You can tap it into your countertop or underneath the sink. So it goes through a filter, very good. Then it goes over a positive and a negative platinum-coated titanium plates, and we need those metals because they can withstand 230 watts of electricity. Okay? And what you're going to end up with is acidic water on your left side, and on your right side is your alkaline water. Your alkaline, your antioxidant water comes out of the top hose, out of our bottom hose will come out the acidic water. So it's a pretty simple thing, and there's 7 of these plates. The longer it goes through the plates, the stronger the water will be. This is an enhancer fluid, which we use only to make 2 waters, which I'm going to talk about towards the end of the presentation, and I'll show you what the benefit is for. We need extra minerals, so we put a salt mineral in there to make that. But it's only for those two extreme waters that are not drinking water. So this is your antioxidant ORP chart. What does ORP stand for in the middle here? Oxidation reduction potential. And you have a minus and a plus. So what does that mean? What's the MV stand? Millivolts. You have energy in your body. You have electricity going through your body. So you would think the positive was a good guy, but it's actually the bad guy. That's your acidic side. And on your left side, your negative water is your antioxidant. In Japan, they call this negative water. That's what they call it. So what's on the positive side? Every bottled water I've ever tested is plus 200 or higher. Sometimes as high as 400 and higher. All your sodas, your sports drinks, your tap water is in the plus 300 or higher. What's on the negative side? Oranges or fresh squeezed orange juice, minus 50. That's good for you. Green tea as high as minus 100. Even better. And you'll see your Kangen water come in at minus 350 or higher. much more powerful than anything we know. Now, I took a course this past summer in Florida with a Dr. Corrine Allen, and she's especially a head injury and brain specialist, deals with a lot of autistic kids. And she said that if you have positive 30 millivolts in your body, you most likely have cancer. It takes negative 50 millivolts, negative 50, to reproduce healthy cells to wipe out cancer. Because cancer's going through your body all the time. It's when you go positive instead of negative that it takes over. So you look at all the positive things, positive 250 and higher, positive 300 and higher, and you want to be at negative 50. It's a constant battle for us. So, you can turn the lights up again, Pastor Joe. And what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to do a little demonstration. We're going to use some soda. Anybody here soda drinkers? A little bit? No? Once in a while? Good. Well, if you have any kids in the family, you may want them to see this presentation. Usually kids, when they see this presentation, no more soda. This is Gatorade. Very hard to find clear Gatorade. I still have some of that left. And we're going to use a club soda. I used to be a big club soda and lemon drinker, so we're going to test that and see how well that fares. Did anybody bring water that they want to test it today? Okay. You can always bring water to these. This is Dasani. Now, Dasani is owned by, anybody know?
Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola, very good. Okay. Number one seller in this country, outlawed in most of Asia and Europe. Okay, this is RO water, reverse osmosis. Reverse osmosis means we cleaned everything out of your water. All the bad, but also all the good. All the minerals are taken out. This is outlawed in most of Asia and Europe because they call it dead water. A couple things you need to know about, by the way, this was designed to be drank for maybe 2 or 3 weeks to remove heavy metal toxicity. It was never meant to be drank every single day for the rest of your life. Because you're going to constantly pull out your calcium, magnesium, your sodium, your potassium, all your minerals are going to come out from your entire body. And what Dr. Corrine Allen and some of the experts say, if you want heart disease or cancer, drink RO water for the rest of your life. And you'll get it. That's how bad this is, to be drank all the time. By the way, bottled water, all of it, is bottled 6 to 12 months before you see it. Is that fresh or old? It's old. Do you think they have to put chemicals in it to keep it from going bad? Yes. Do they have to tell you? No. They don't have to tell you, because they're always allowed to put a certain amount of something in it and not have to tell you. And there's 19 cancer-causing chemicals that now go into making plastic bottles. So when they sit around in those hot warehouses for 6 months, and they expand and retract and expand and retract, that's when those chemicals are released. Number 2 seller, also outlawed in most of Asia and Europe, is another RO water, Aquafina. Who makes that?
Pepsi.
Pepsi. Well, Coca-Cola's in, Pepsi's got to get in the game, right? And then your number 3 seller is Poland Springs, owned by Nestle's, a foreign company. And here's what you know. This is your number 3 seller in small bottles, but number 1 seller in 5-gallon jugs. People have them in their homes, and they also have them in offices. By the way, only 25% of most spring water, including this one, comes from the spring. The other 75% is an undisclosed source. Anyone want to guess where that undisclosed source is? Filtered tap water. Filtered tap water. Okay, what'd you say, Fred?
Lord knows, he said.
Yeah. There you go. Now this is your tap water. Is this well water here? So this is well water here. And then this is your Kangen water. This came from Dr. Ed's office because we weren't sure we were going to be able to hook it up. And we weren't, so. I didn't want to break your just in case, because you had a lot of calcification on your areas.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, so this is what we're going to use to test. This is what is known as a pinpoint ORP redox monitor. This is to test millivolts. And it's really for a fish tank. You know, the fish swim around all day long. They pee and poo in the water. If you don't change the water often enough, the fish swim upside down because they don't live. in your body, since it's 70% water, we need to change the water often enough. You know, flush it out with new water. And if you're not really fully hydrating the body, then you're really not flushing it out. So I put it in some strong acid water, which I want to close this up. Monday night we knocked this all over the place. I'm Italian, you know, hands are always moving, so I gotta be very careful of me. So, what I'm gonna do is just make sure I bring my meter down to normal here. Okay, so, what we're looking for is, if it's a positive on the meter, it won't show a positive sign, but if it's a negative, it'll show a negative sign. So let's look at the soda, we're gonna look at our meter here. So if we go into the soda, can everybody see that from where you are? It's plus 480.
490.
490, so, and going over to 500. So, that's off the charts. Very oxidizing, very aging to the body. Here's your Gatorade. Plus 400, 420. 420, 419, it's still in the 400s, okay? Very oxidizing. Here's your club soda. Came down a little bit more from 420 to 390. Still very oxidizing. Anything that's carbonated is going to be very oxidizing to the body. Here's your Dasani. This is going to go over 300. 320. 340. 350 and climbing. Very, number one seller, 380. Very oxidizing to 390. We're going to go over 400 with bottled water. Here's your Aquafina. This is even worse, 430. 450. Wow. And then here's your Poland Springs that normally comes down. You'll see this might hit 350. So you see, of the waters on the antioxidant side, you could say that this is the lowest, but you could put chemicals in this water like calcium and magnesium, and you could bring down the ORP on it. So that's at 378. Let's see what your well water's at. Well water's at 372. And then this is your Kangen water. See, it's at 380 the meter. Watch how fast it drops. That's minus 752. Minus 7, in the minus 750. So,
Looking down the airplanes.
yeah, there you go. So, of all the waters,
Yeah.
this is the only one that's an antioxidant that can slow down the aging process, and everything else can speed it up. I want to just get this out of my way, because I know me. This is like a light bulb in there. If I drop it, it's all over. And I've done that already. Okay, so I'm just going to put this over here, out of the way. So that's a pinpoint ORP meter. Now, remember I said to you, this is outlawed in most of Asia and Europe because they call it dead water? I want to just show you something real quick. I'm going to find an outlet here. Do we have one open? Yeah. One more. Okay, this is just a little light bulb on the end here. Okay? And a little light bulb, and there's two copper prongs in there. It's looking for a connection. You need minerals in the water for it to connect, for it to light up. So if you put it in here, you can see that it lights up. That's our Kangen water. Now, your well water, we didn't remove anything out, so that should light up as well, and it does. And then here's your heavily processed, you can see it's a lot less of a light, but that's your Poland Springs, which we know is 75% tap water. Here's your Aquafina. It's dead. So you're a living being consuming, or should consume, live food, raw fruits and vegetables. And alive water, not dead water. Here's your Dasani. Barely get a little light out of there. And that never used to light up, so I know that they're starting to put minerals maybe back in, because I think they've been following me around, and they don't like the fact that I've been beating these guys up all the time. So I'm gonna put this all out of my reach. Okay, cool. Alrighty, moving along. Here's a benefit. Oh, how do we get this louder, by the way? Pastor? Oh, on the computer itself?
Yes.
All right. Let me see if I can figure out how to do that.
Lowered it 'cause when you had it on, you had it.
Oh, is that right? Okay. let's
Just hit the FN button, and then there's another one, I think it's F6.
Yeah,
or-
top right,
Top right?
top row.
Uh,
I got it.
You'll see it like the volume, like you go right, left.
yeah, you do.
Double A.
Hey, let's let the expert do this. Is this you want to hear? There you go. Now, what did you press? Show me for the future.
Over here. FN,
Oh, okay.
and you see.
Oh, so the volume doesn't work unless you hit the FM?
Well, yeah, not unless you go, then you gotta go into the button.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah,
Good,
the
okay,
FM,
good.
that'll work.
Are you ready? Watch this. This is very
Let
interesting.
us see how this type of water affects human blood. The doctor is drawing blood from a patient's finger. Using a special microscope, we shall be able to see the condition of her body from this drop.
These are red blood cells and they've lost their electrical charge. So they're all stuck together in a formation called a rouleau. There's a huge symplast. Symplasts are associated with heart disease and arthritis and lung disease and many other conditions that could be coming in the future.
The doctor asks the patient to drink a small amount of structured water. After 12 minutes, the doctor again draws blood from the patient and studies it.
So you can see that the cells then become buoyant, they become slippery, and they have their electrical charge, so they repel each other. That allows them to carry oxygen, and it means that we're changing the pH of the blood back to an aerobic environment rather than an anaerobic environment. I think that's utterly amazing that that just drinking water could do that.
And that was in 12 minutes. 12 minutes. So people, when they notice results, sometimes people notice it after one glass and go, whoa, I got some kind of kick with that water, you know? So, moving along, number 2 property is alkalinity. So number 1, it's an antioxidant, just like your fruits and vegetables, but it's an electrically charged antioxidant. Number 2 is alkalinity, which is also due to the electrical charge. Now, if you look at your pH scale, it goes from 0 to 14 with 7 being neutral. Anything to the right of that 7 is alkaline, and it's healthy. Raw alkaline foods like fruits and vegetables, Kangen water, and a positive attitude. Negative people are normally acidic. Is there anybody here negative tonight? Okay, good. Everybody's alkaline. No. To the left of that is where your sickness lives, and cancer. And that's from acidic foods and beverages, emotional and physical stress. So people that are stressed out is not a healthy thing to be. So, we're going to take some pH drops, okay, and this will test what the pH is. And I'm going to put about 5 drops in each one, and rather than count them, I'm just going to kind of do it real quick. So if you look at this, look at how acidic that is. These 2 right here are slightly less acidic than the battery acid in your car. Look at your club soda. Not much better. How about the Dasani? Not much better. Aquafina. You'll notice with Poland Springs, it shows more neutral. You could put calcium bicarbonate in the water and get a higher pH. And then here's your well water. Now, is this treated, this well water at all? Is it, do you put salt or something like that? So, okay, so you're gonna get a pH, and sometimes you'll get natural pH from well water too. But you're getting a more, let's say, neutral pH, but mainly because they're putting chemicals into the water. And then this is your Kangen water, and you can see how
Hardy water.
this is Hardy water. That's it, Dr. Hardy water. Pretty wild, right? Now, what happens if you start to drink our water. And by the way, you know, I haven't done this demonstration, which I'll show you. There are bottles, anybody here see pH water, like alkaline water now? It's becoming very prevalent. Now, there's a difference between alkaline and alkalized. We're alkalized with electricity. Alkaline is basically chemically treated. So it lasts a long time because it's got a chemical. So I've never done this demonstration, I'm gonna tell you that right now. But if I take, let me see, if I take, let's say, Dasani, okay, because we know it's acidic, right? If I take Dasani, we'll see if this works. Should never practice in front of anybody, but I'm gonna break the rules today. And we take a tablespoon of this, in case some of you are interested in, well, some people say you can just take baking soda, that's alkaline. Yeah, but that'll eat away the stomach lining. It's like eating Tums all the time. So if we take this now and put the drops in, it should turn like a blue. There you go. It worked. So you might think, well, that's alkaline. If you get our drops and you buy pH water, doesn't mean it's good for you. It's not going to hydrate your cells and do what ours will do. Let me just get this out of my way. This is not part of the program. Okay, so what happens if you're acidic and you start to drink Kangen water? Remember, every one of these cups has the drops in it, right? So this is what you're looking for. Get your body alkaline. Look at that. This is cleaner than this. You can see it turn more purple than blue. You can see just a little bit. Just a little bit. Look at your club soda, what happens. This is so acidic that it beat our water right up. Watch this one. Nothing. Nothing. How come? Well, there's a 32-to-1 ratio. If you drink this bottle, you need 32 equal amounts of Kangen water to neutralize just one bottle of soda. Comes out to about 5 gallons of water. You'd have to drink 5 gallons of our water to neutralize one soda. So how bad is soda? Friends don't let friends drink soda. And we definitely don't let the kids drink it. You want diabetes and cancer and heart disease, that's what you're going to get. So if you're alkaline, you go, oh, let me cheat a little bit now, you know? So, there's your diabetes back. There's your arthritis. There's your acid reflux and gout. Did I cover diabetes yet? I forgot.
Cancer.
Cancer? Cancer's coming up right here. This is the cancer one. Okay? It took 9 people in 2 years for me to convince me that I should even drink this water. Nobody showed me what I'm going to show you today. I was all over the phone. They tried to explain. I'm like, that sounds like snake oil. But within 2 weeks, I had 3 things that I was suffering from for 15 years. Acid reflux. If you ever had know anybody who's had acid reflux, horrible thing. Go to bed, you basically throw up in your sleep. Okay? Burns like you wouldn't believe. It'll lead to throat cancer if you don't take care of it. Second thing is severe arthritis and inflammation in my shoulder. Had an accident, had shoulder surgery. They said you're going to be in pain for the rest of your life. And leg cramps. All 3 of those are a sign of being too acidic. All 3 were 100% gone in 2 weeks or less. I'm not even sure when it all went away. I know the acid reflux was gone in 5 days. All of a sudden, I'm like, wow, my shoulder doesn't hurt anymore. I can sleep again at night. What is that worth? Would you mind helping me out, Les, here? This is my good friend Les Capel, Vanna White today. He's just going to dump the cups. Okay, thank you, Les. All right, so we go back to the slides. Acid reflux and gastritis. You know the store shelves are filled with it. 1 in 14 Americans have acid reflux. That's about 25 million people. So every one of us knows somebody who has it. We all know somebody who has it. Acid waste buildup is when you get your aches and pains in your hands, your shoulders, your knees, your lower back, your feet. High blood pressure, diabetes, gout, constipation, degenerative disease, they believe is all an extension of being too acidic. And diabetes in New York City went from 95, 4.2% of the people in 2011, 10.5% of the people, over 300,000 people in New York City are diabetics now. We're losing the war. This is why health insurance costs have gone up so much. I call it sick care insurance, in case you get sick. People say, well, how come I don't know about this? How come my doctor didn't tell me about it? It's out there. Now that you know you can do all your homework you like, there's hundreds of books about it. I read this book 20 years ago. Alkalize or Die. You're not sick, you're thirsty. Dr. Pat Mengelich, okay? He said also, don't treat thirst with medication. You can see all the books here. The pH miracle, reverse the aging. Your body's many cries for water. Never be sick again. Could it be that simple, just water? Not any water, it's gotta be special water. Number 3 property. So what's the number 1 property? Antioxidant. Number 2, alkaline, alkalinity. Number 3, water molecule clustering. You have tap and bottled water on your left. If you were to look at it under a microscope, you'll have 24 to 26 molecules per cluster. Both clusters, limited absorption by the cells. On the right, you've got your Kangen water, return to origin. You have 5 to 6 molecules, microclustered, small hexagonal water, 6-sided. The same shape as the cells in your pore. The pores in your cells, I should say. So the water can flow in to bring nutrients in, flow back out to take the toxins out. It's very important that you have that circulation. Otherwise, you have stagnant water, like that fish tank, where the fish will die if you don't change it. If the water doesn't change in your body, you start to die and get sick, and all these different health challenges start to come up. Why is our water tap and bottled water like this? We ruined it. With those 100,000 chemicals, with all the over-processing like these guys are doing. That's the problem. So how do I show you that we can superhydrate the body? We're going to do a little tea test. So we're going to use some Lipton tea. Excuse me, Lipton tea. Okay, green tea. And this tea bag is very porous, so all the waters are going to go through the tea bag. But the tea leaves inside are cells, just like the cells in your body. And what we want to do is see, can this water penetrate the cells? So we can see, it's like your brain cells, your blood cells, and so on. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to put tap water. By the way, what do you have to do to your water before you can make tea? Boil it. And what water do you use to make tea?
Tap water.
Most people will use tap water. So we're going to put some well water here. And I'm going to go every other cup. Now some people have the 5-gallon jug, and this is really not about tea. It's about, will this water hydrate your body? So we're going to see how well Poland Springs does. We're going to see how well Aquafina does. And we're going to see how well the Sani does. So you want to know, am I wasting my money buying all this bottled water? Is it indeed healthier like I'm hoping it is? And then in your opposite ones, we'll put Kangen water. Those drops I could see are picking up some of the pH in there. I should have just used clean cups. Trying to save the environment. That's okay. We have a disadvantage. We're slightly pink. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to soak the tea bag real good. Make sure it's nice and wet. And we're going to give each one like 5 dunks, okay? So ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We didn't make very good tea, did we? If I served you tea this way, you'd be like, that's not tea. Bring it back. Here's your Kangen water now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's an 80% hydration, 20% hydration. See the difference? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know one thing, Poland Springs is a waste of money. If you're buying it for health reasons and you're buying it to hydrate your body. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If anybody wants to feel this water, it's ice cold. Ice cold. Let's see if Aquafina is any better. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a waste of money. Let's see if Kangen's any better. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's your 80-20. That's right, people notice this right away. The nutrients are going to flow into your cells, the toxins are going to flow back out, and that's really important. So let's see if Dasani, number 1 cell, is any better. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times. Well, maybe the tea bag is shot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's a waste of money too. This is your only water, your Kangen water, that's going to really super hydrate your body. And you're going to start to notice a difference. And within 1 to 5 days, you will start to notice something in your body. If you don't mind, let me keep these 2 here. Just dump those out for me, and you can put them back up. Now I'm going to do one other little test here on how well this water hydrates the body. This is our strongest water. It's called 11.5 pH. We keep it in a black container because it's sensitive to the light. This you can keep for a long time. I've got one of my distributors in Detroit. He has about 5 or 6 of these bottles. He does a lot of demos, and his are like 6 months old. He ages them. This actually gets stronger in time. So, everybody like tomatoes? No. You're just gonna have to be. This is gonna have to be a visual for you, okay?
Fred will have to tell you.
Yeah. Fred will be honest with you, right? So these are Nature's Sweet Cherries. And I'll just put. By the way, when you go shopping for your produce, your grapes, your oranges, your tomatoes, do you wash them before you eat them?
Absolutely, yeah.
Always, right? And what do you wash them in?
Tap water.
Tap water. Everybody washes them in tap water, right? So this is your tap water.
We scrub them and put soap in them and everything.
You put soap on them too?
No.
No, some people do.
Some people do, it's true.
Okay, so here's your
Funny.
11.5. If I get the top off. Ooh, be careful. Told you I'm clumsy. And I got my little spoon here, so I'm going to stir this. Okay, so what we're going to do, here's your tap water tomatoes. Okay, you see a little bit of discoloration, right? And then these are your Kangen tomatoes. Wow, what is that? Is that green tea?
I don't think so.
What do you think it might be? Pesticides, herbicides, okay? So what I want you to do is take a tomato, put it in your mouth, feel it with your tongue first. You'll notice it's squeaky clean. Take a bite, and guess what it tastes like? A delicious vine-ripened tomato. Maybe it's the pesticides you don't like, not the tomatoes.
I'm not gonna try it.
I don't want to give up too easy, you know? So, everybody give that a try. And then, once you're done with that, I want you to do the same thing with these tomatoes. Put them in your mouth, feel it with your tongue, take a bite, and see if you can taste the difference. And I'll let Alan serve these. But finish your first tomato first.
Huge difference.
No thanks.
Those are the good ones, okay. I need another one.
They are very good.
Aren't they good?
They're very sweet.
Yeah,
Anybody taste the difference?
I'll take another one of
Les,
them.
we'll take.
Yeah, pass these around. I'm not allowed to take any more tomatoes home. Anybody notice the difference? You can notice the difference? By the way, I just poisoned you with those tomatoes. I'm sorry, but that's part of the presentation. Now, I'm gonna take these and wash them a second time.
Bitters. Bitters, yeah, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, a little bite to it, right? And if you use those veggie washes, they still don't remove this, and I'll show you why in a second. Plus it's expensive, yeah. So here's wash number 2. So they're all clean now, you guys can eat them all up. Look at that. It's after we wash them in tap water. Now,
Get rid of that bad taste.
let me tell you why.
That's crazy.
Let me tell you why. Is that unbelievable?
Ridiculous.
Now, let me taste them right now.
Good.
Strawberries, grapes, peaches. Oh, you can't imagine what comes off it, first of all, and you can't imagine how good they taste. Like grapes that we're so used to being bitter, it's really not the grapes that are bitter, it's the pesticides that are bitter. Now, here's the reason why ours was able to take it off, because pesticides and herbicides are oil-based, so that when they water the plants or when it rains, it doesn't wash away and they don't have to keep on spraying it. Since I don't carry pesticides around with me, we're going to use some sesame seed oil. We're going to just make believe it's a pesticide. So we're going to put a little bit on the bottom of each of these 2 glasses, okay? And what happens when you, this stuff smells so strong. I'm not a big fan of sesame seed oil. Some people love it. It stinks. So, what happens when you mix water and oil together? They don't mix. You'll see the oil rise to the top. Okay? Now, this is our Kangen 11.5. I'm going to pour it into this glass, hopefully without spilling it. Okay? Now, this looks like what you're drinking, but it has a very strong